Quite a while ago, Jeffrey Riddick wrote the first version of Final Destination 1 after reading a story about a woman who was about to board a flight when her mom called her and told her not to take the flight because she had a bad feeling about it. She immediately switched flights, but the flight she was supposed to take ended up crashing. The original treatment was written as an episode of the X-Files, but Jeffrey decided to make it into a full movie for some reason. James Wan and Glenn Morgan were later hired to help out with the script. Flight 180, which is the plane that crashes in the first movie, is based off of TWA Flight 800, which was a Boeing 747-100 that exploded in mid-air, making it the third deadliest flight incident in US history. Every one of the movies is pretty much the same, following the same basic plot. A group of young people are doing something generally considered by the public as dangerous, flying, driving, riding a roller coaster, and seeing a NASCAR event in person, and driving on a bridge. And one of them has an extremely vivid premonition of a huge accident happening, causing the deaths of everyone involved. The Visionary then wakes up a moment before anything happens, and of course they freak the fuck out and immediately start panicking, trying to warn everyone about what they saw, causing a whole lot of ruckus that makes multiple people leave, causing them to survive the disaster. Death itself, working as an intelligent force, slowly kills each of the survivors in brutal, gory ways in the order they would have died if they had stayed in the accident in the first place. The main leads change throughout each film, consisting of 3 males and 2 females: Alex, Kimberly, Wendy, Bobby, and Sam. It's sort of a soft anthology the way it changes the cast every movie. So yeah, here's me talking about all 5 of them. So yeah, enjoy that. A lot of horror originals suffer from what I like to refer to as original syndrome, but when I tell you that this film doesn't, I mean it. One thing that I immediately noticed when I started to watch these movies was how unbelievably quiet these movies seem at first, almost feeling like ASMR. It's eerie as hell and a bit strange, but eventually you get so used to it that you literally cannot hear it anymore. The Final Destination series is responsible for some of the best acting I've ever seen, but I feel like this one's acting is just decent instead of the usual amazing. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of great acting moments in here, but Alex is a bit stiff at times, almost seeming like he isn't scared of death, which is insane because that's kind of the whole plot of the movie. The entire film makes me feel uneasy, which I really like, making Final Destination 1 a fucking horror masterpiece. Being able to make me shiver at the mere mention of the title, delivering insane kills throughout that stick with you when you finish it. I mean, some of the shit in this movie is so jarringly intense that they had to film a lot of downtime after certain deaths because a lot of the test audiences needed time to calm down afterwards. The movie feels sharp but slow. The movie feels loud but quiet, which I think makes it a solid contender for the top of the ranking. The acting in Final Destination 2 is so much better than Final Destination 1, it's kinda nuts. They must have had a bigger budget for this one. I mean, obviously they did. There's no way in hell that opening could have been cheap. I mean, that shit is nuts. Look at that. I find Kimberly to be dull, and I don't know why for some reason, but one of the best things about Final Destination 2 is how they brought back Clear, a move that they literally never do again, which sucks because Clear works as this coach, almost this mentor who decides to help out the main cast in fighting death, and I find it really engaging and cool. But I gotta tell you right now, the way they killed off Alex off screen, horse shit, they did my boy wrong. But the inclusion of a police officer in the main cast was cool as well, feeling like an insane turn of pace for the movie, which makes him a very interesting character to me. Despite it having a relatively dull protagonist, this movie still carries the same sharp, jagged feeling that the original does, therefore making it pretty much the perfect sequel, even though we already know who that title belongs to. There's a reason why Mary Elizabeth, fuck it, I'm just gonna call her Mew because that's the abbreviation of her name, and her name is way too fucking long. She carries this movie on her back with her insanely perfected performance that makes every actor look terrible in comparison, quite frankly. She has the most insane freak out of any of the main characters, probably because this one takes place on a roller coaster, and roller coasters are already pretty scary, making it 10 times as horrifying, but this one definitely has a different tone to it, making it feel more colorful and animated than the previous movies. It's not that different, but don't take that as a bad thing. It still holds the feeling of the previous 2 movies, it just has a bit more feeling to it, which I'm always down for. Some of these kills are actually hard to watch sometimes, being more drawn out and less sharp, but in the first 2, the victims feel as though they're being killed in a hurry, like death has somewhere to be, but in Final Destination 3, it feels like death is having fun, relishing in every second, enjoying the pain, which is an addition that I welcome with open arms, quite frankly. But anyways, this is by far my favorite movie in the series. From the stellar performances, to the insane new kills, to the new colorful palette, this movie hits every note perfectly, leaving me satisfied and still wanting more. 10 out of 10. Oh no, the bad one. Well, not really bad per se, but damn, did they randomly change almost everything making the first three good in the first place? They made it this goofy-ass 2090 3D cornfest. I can't stand it. It no longer has that sharp, comforting darkness that I grew to love, instead substituting it with this very cheesy gore fest that feels cheap, almost like the Saw movies. I feel like this is what the people who hate horror think when they imagine what they think horror is. These dumb, lethally painful adaptations of death that are only intended to satisfy the morbid curiosity of the audience, but in reality, scary movies make life less scary, having deeper and darker plots than you cannot find anywhere else whatsoever. I feel like they didn't really show that off here. It feels trashy for some reason, but I have to admit, I like a lot of this movie. I keep coming back to rewatch. It's probably due to my love for junky trash like this, but I still severely enjoy this film for some reason. It by far has the worst characters and acting in any of the films, but anyways, the insane, mind-wrenching kills are still very much here. I mean, come on, it's Final Destination, that's still gonna happen, that's for damn sure, but pretty much everything else is gone. Everything else from the Final Destination movies, gone, dead. No longer alive. I'm gonna hit you with a 6 out of 10, but everything that I know about the series is about to come back in. So after Final 4, which was supposed to be the Final Destination movie, by the way, the studio still wanted to make another movie due to the bad reception as far as I'm concerned, so they cooked up this fucking banger, dog. They brought back everything that I love about the franchise and cranked it to the max. I'm talking, they perfectly mixed the long drawn out deaths from 3 with the quick sharp deaths from the others in perfect harmony, which results in the second best movie in the series. It's perfect. The cast is really good, giving us great acting while making the characters in which they are playing decently likable and engaging at the same time. Not to mention the return of your homie Bloodworth. I mean, come on, this shit is perfect. And the ending, oh, perfect in every conceivable way. 10 out of 10. Well, that's it. That's every Final Destination movie reviewed and sort of ranked. I kind of did a ranking with the numbers. So yeah, that's it. Peace out.